Brandon here. Time for more SexxxPerTease. Today's question is it weird to bring a friend to a sex party? Personally speaking, no. Like, every sex party I've gone to, I've gone with a friend. Granted, I've only been to two, but I like doing things, like, with my friends. Like, we aren't actually, like, doing things, like, together while there, but it's, like, it's fun just to have someone to go with. Like, the first one I went to was, like, a huge one. It was, like, in my apartment building in Atlanta, which was really fun. And, like, there were hundreds of guys there. And my friend and I just, like, walked downstairs and went in. He went to one before there without me, but I wanted to go to this one, and it was Black Gay Pride. So I don't think there's anything wrong with going with a friend. Like, it's like you don't have to like be with each other the whole time, but it's nice just to have someone to like break away with and go like catch up with in between each hookup, and it just makes it go by much smoother and more fun, because I feel like it can feel like awkward and uncomfortable when you're by yourself, because you're just like, what do I do? Like, this is my first time here. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, am I gonna like anyone? And then most of the time, like, sex parties are like very dark, and like you don't really know. You don't get a full view of who you're hooking up with, but I don't see a problem with going with a friend, especially if you haven't ever been to one before, or you just feel more at ease with someone you know there. You just have to have the right friend to do it with, because I mean, not all your friends are probably going to be in the sex party scene, but if you have other friends that are into like the same type of like freaky or sexual stuff as you, like, go for it. Like, my best friends and I, like, I've gone to bathhouses with friends, I've gone to sex clubs with friends, I've gone to sex parties. Like, I don't see an issue with that. Like, it's like a fun bonding experience. You just have to have the right friends to do it with. And I thankfully do have other friends that are just as slutty and into slutty things as I am. So personally, like, there is nothing wrong with it. Like, it only really gets awkward if like you have maybe like the same taste, you're with the same guy. But I also kind of feel like when it's that type of environment, like a sex party, it's like you might end up hooking up with the same guy as your friend, but it's like you aren't usually there to like hook or like date someone. So I kind of just feel like it doesn't really matter if you get with the same guy as your friend, because it's like you usually don't really get anyone's information to like see them again. I mean, I have before, like, I've gone on dates with guys at like the bathhouse or like a sex club, but like that's different, because it's like you actually get like alone space and one-on-one time. Like, sex parties is really like nowhere that's really like private. Like, everywhere is sex everywhere, so I feel like you're not really gonna get that privacy or like private time to just chat and get to know someone if you did want to see them again. I mean, of course it's possible, but hopefully that isn't the guy that your friend also hooked up with. And even if it is, like, they might not even remember. It's usually pitch black in there. Like, you don't know who is who, really. You just have to judge everyone by their body and like what you feel. But personally speaking, there is absolutely nothing wrong with going to a sex party with a friend. And if you want to go with a friend, then just ask them. Just make sure he is like the right friend that definitely is into the same type of stuff as you, like those types of environments, because you definitely don't want to bring a prude friend there. Because the last one I went to, my friend just wasn't really into it, even though like he was the one that wanted to go more than I did, because I was kind of like skeptical about it, because I just kind of feel like no other sex party is really ever going to compare to like what I experienced in Atlanta. So I kind of just feel like because this one definitely was like in a dirty like motel room, and it just was like a dozen or so guys, maybe 20, and like the first one I went to was like hundreds, and like a 3-bedroom apartment, so it was like huge, so many spaces, so many areas, so many options. And like this one definitely was like way less, and like my friend just wasn't feeling it, was ready to go early, and that kind of did ruin it for me, because I kind of was like more into it. But I kind of feel like that's probably what made it more fun, because I had low expectations. So like I was just able to like, you know what, let me just enjoy the moment and go for it. And yeah, so basically, if you go with the wrong friend, it's not going to be a fun experience. Like, you definitely don't want to go with a friend that's like hooks up with one person, is ready to go, or they feel like insecure about their body, because at a sex party you basically are walking around naked, and a lot of guys can't really handle like the bathhouse or sex party where you have to walk around naked, because they're like insecure, feel like nobody's gonna want them, even though the reality is there's always guys of all body types, all ages, all sizes there. So I kind of feel like there's no point in being insecure. Like, you will find somebody usually to like fool around with, like, no matter what. So I kind of just feel like it's really a lot of fun if you go with the right friends, but if you go with the wrong friend, it could be a terrible experience. So you don't want to make that mistake, because in that instance, then it is better to go alone, because then it's like you get to do whatever you want. Nobody knows there to judge you. You can just be free. You don't have somebody that's like a Debbie Downer or like making you leave early, because that definitely ruins the experience. But definitely bring a friend. It's definitely even safer there. It's just feels more at ease. You have somebody to like catch up with, talk to, chat with in between hookups. Like, it definitely makes the night way more fun when you go to a sex party with a friend. And thanks for joining me for this episode of SexxxPerTease.